when she was able to, I remember sitting there and watching her set camera, and she knew exactly what to do. You folks, it's creation in real time, and she'd stay up late and she'd be working with the writers, and she'd say, no, it needs to look like this, and not one person got it until they saw it. You know, Bruce saw it, Beverly saw it, Mel saw it. We all saw the brilliance as it unfolded, and creativity in real time is a unique genius that Kate has. And she did that in a family atmosphere, folks. That is something that is impossible to do. And she does.
Thank you, Paul. For me, it was seamless. We were a tight-knit group. It happened. And so Katie being standing in front of the camera and then seeing it from the director's view, I was always impressed on how you knew all the lenses. Who was our cinematographer? Brown. Ed Brown.
It was great.
And it was great because, I mean, it just seemed like a seamless collaboration, and you stepped from one pair of shoes to the other very, very well, and you never, it just seemed natural. You know, you knew Amanda, you knew all of our characters, you know, and you could talk, you didn't have to, it was a lot of short, like I want to say shorthand, you know, Bruce, this, let's do this, you know, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, it's hard to explain the process, isn't it? Yeah. It is, it just happens, but it's...
I don't know what it was, but it was...
well, that will come across. I think there's a lot of magic.
Yeah, it was magic.
But you're not conscious of it, you know, we're really creating. We're so busy trying to get the job done and get everything done.
Oh, yeah.
And a good eye, too, though. I think for a director...
Great eye.
And you can see, like, in the opening of Pharaoh's, and you can see she has a really good eye. And for that kind of composition, you know, we think of it in still photos, but when you get into the moving pictures, that's really important toward making the final product sing off the screen, you know?
Well, it's from my perspective, just to answer the question, you do what mom tells you to do. So it's really not that difficult. Every once in a while you stray, but when she says stand here, you stand here and you shut up. But from
I hope Beverly is looking down on us right now.
what you're seeing here is a collaborative, like creativity is collaborative, right? So, and we've got a good collaborative, so we've got a great collaborative team. And the thing about that is that you can go into creativity and collaboration, but it really takes a strong leader, really, to make something special. And so you're seeing creatives that are collaborating, that are being led by someone who's incredibly special. So that's really what it boils down to. And I think this show is special in that we've got very strong female characters, very strong male characters, and that comes together seamlessly in a way that doesn't seem like it's patronizing or that it's trying to break barriers. It just seems like this is the way it should be. And again, that's a product of creatives coming together, knowing that they have to collaborate, and then having, I love you. Having a very strong leader. Yep. So that's what that is.
You know, actors sometimes argue. We didn't argue. We just sit down. We just did it. We worked together. We all worked together, trying to put the thing together and make it come to life off the page. Because sometimes on the page it just kind of sat there. But, you know.
But it was the foundation for us to pick it up and go with it.
Right. It was
make it our own. Blueprint. Yeah.
And they were, they let us take it. Once they turned the script, we got it in our hands, it was ours. That's just the way it is. And so it was, and directing was incredible. It was just so much fun. I couldn't believe it. So one day I was outside setting up the shot, and somebody came and asked me what I did the next day, and I said, oh, I don't work, I just direct.
Don't work.
I
You know, I keep thinking of Friday nights in Billy Melrose's office, where we generally were finishing up an episode or starting the first scenes for the next episode. We'd pick up Monday, remember? And Mel Stewart, I love that guy. He would get handed these speeches on Scarecrow, and I go, no, Billy, no. You know, I beg to differ a little bit, Greg. I was always sort of the elitist snob as well, only rivaled by Martha as...
I was going to say, I was going to be quiet, but I'll put him on that award.
We were the professionals.
Thank you.
Remember the whole early thing, I fought her being a part of this, but I was drawn to her.
And you played
And then we got
backgammon.
thrown
So
together. Oh, she hasn't changed at all. But anyway, I have so many fond memories of that. And
You
some,
wanted no part of me being the
it's exactly right. Okay, I know. Look, it's taken me 38 years to see you now, so I mean, I don't want to say that. But, you know, and
so mean to me.
she was always mean to you. But I was kind of mean to her, too. We had a little...
thank you.
Thank you. Yes. But Billy settled us all down, and he told us, I miss old Mel Stewart, I really do. He was a sweet soul, and he was so much fun. But when he'd get befuddled with his speeches, that's what I'm saying. Usually Friday was after a long week, and we're in there, and oh my God, at least, will Mel get his lines right?
And the pizzas would come in.
Yeah, you're sitting there pulling for him. He's almost there. He's almost. Oh no. Okay, we're back. I know, but he had all those direct orders and directions. And
Yeah.
we have to go. He was like spelling out. I call it carrying the pipe. He had to do all the details, tell the audience what we were going to do, what the next story was going to do. You know, in television, then you told everybody you were going to do it. You did it, and then after the commercial break, what you had just done. You know, it's just the way television is. We made good TV back then, though. Yeah. In my days, baby, we made some good TV. These young whippersnappers. We'll do it again.
SFK together again for the first time.
Yeah, I pictured us kind of, I think we talked about this last time we talked, and I could see us having grown children, okay, they're grown,
And they go into the business.
and they go into the business, and we're not, but somehow get us mischievous too. We get ourselves into some kind of predicament.
If it involves running, jumping,
No.
falling into a pit, they can do it.
They can do that. I'm not running and jumping over walls after bad guys anymore. And you're not smacking guys in the head with
Not sliding
down a sliding rope. Yes, I remember that. So, no, the legs won't carry me. But I had to do all that stuff with Gary Davis and Paul, Tom Morga, all those guys. And we had fun in that. We had some great action stuff and comedic. Oh God, yeah. They were scary. They were scary. I think the worst was on that biplane going down the runway tied to the lower wing. Oh my God. And one of the I think that Oz thing, the Oz, whatever it was. Where you learn how he got the code name Scarecrow, Dorothy, the Tin Man, yeah, and all that stuff. But, all those things we did, and the car chases, you and me going down the street with all the cops holding traffic back in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I'm doing 80, and you're going, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
That's scary.
Well, as we went to that Corvette, remember, that thing was all engine and fiberglass. That was it.
That you loved, that they had to push onto the set.
I know, because it died in the middle of every shot.
5 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
right.
We were lucky. That thing felt
Why am I?
safe.
I remember teaching Amanda how to stunt drive. That was a little scary too. student children.
Class act.
Class act, right. See, now there's...
Have you seen the episode? Yeah. Just checking.
Yeah, there's so many fun memories. When we went to Europe in '84, oh my God. Emily Farnsworth. And what about Emily Farnsworth? The great Kid City.
Concert, the Mozart, what is it, 5 people, it's a quintet or something.
Oh,
Jean just was so gung-ho about going to this concert to hear Mozart play where Mozart and his family played, where the acoustics were the same. It wasn't our record, a vinyl. Yeah. But,
It's different.
that was amazing.
We have time for 2 more questions. Oh, here we go.
Oh my God.
Rhetoric.
We could have 2 more hours.
They came a long way.
Yes, Jill.
Hi. Yes.
I know, Mom.
So thank you, and thanks for making us all cry today. So I just wanted to ask, so this show means so much and so many different things to all of us. And Monday nights was an hour of comfort, or an escape for an hour, or it was a special hour with your grandparent or your mom or whatever. I was wondering if any of you, in your youth, had a show that meant something like that to you. Yeah, it's really good.
I love Spin and Marty. Walt Disney's before it was
Fury.
the one. Fury was wonderful. I love Fury.
Well, I owned horses after that. I mean, I've always
Yeah.
wanted to in my 30 years.
Yeah, Fury's great.
No, I loved all this. See, I was original Disney kid. I loved Davy Crockett. I had a coonskin cap. It was not really a coonskin cap. They couldn't find a live rabbit in North America for a long time because they were making such an industry out of coonskin caps that were actually rabbit fur caps. My mother has a photo of me with no tooth in front, the cap on, and my next door neighbor John Trask, and I stand there grinning in the sun. And I had a Davy Crockett t-shirt on.
Oh, I had one of those.
Yes. And I told
I didn't have any TV.
well, I was in that between period, you know, we all were. And I remember bringing this up to Fess Parker, who played Davy Crockett at an event. And I know the girls have probably heard me tell this story, but and here is this tall, stately gentleman, silver-haired, a handsome man still in the...
Like
and,
you.
Well, and I said, Fess, Mr. Parker, I just have to tell you that I was with you all the way to the very end of the Alamo. I was standing on Mom's couch, swinging my old Betsy, which was probably a stick that I made into or something, and I was swinging away, and I guess a million fans have told you this story already, and he said, nope. And I went, oh, 1,000,001. What a sweetheart of a man he was. But
We had a different
I think
family.
we were all inspired by television when we were kids, right?
I mean,
We were the TV generation.
Internet is something humongous. You know, the cloud, whatever.
Oh, that cloud.
The cloud. Television was the most powerful medium in the world, and it kind of still is. I don't know, but it was.
It has
really
its
amazing.
competitors, but
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
it's still the most powerful. Like I said, we got to come into your homes. You invited us.
We didn't know.
We didn't
We
know.
were CBS's biggest hit,
Yes.
and we didn't know it. Yeah, we were their big hit. And
We were
Jeff
Monday night-
Sagansky
Jeff Sagansky.
brought us into syndication while we were shooting. Because at the end of the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was that network that he started? What? PAX, that's right, that's right, PAX. Yeah, we were already in syndication. I mean, I read these things on the internet.
Yes. And it helped if somebody told us back in the time, though. You know, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
We have two more here, and then we have to go.
Hi, first of all, I think both Bruce and Pete need to start writing fan fiction so we can see the ends of these stories.
they want to know the end of that story that you started. You had it all detailed.
There, what did we say, 5? There's Conundrum, there's, oh God, what is it? Jailbreak. Conundrum in the Amanda Turian candidate, I already told you that. But they're
That's right.
in various stages of completion.
And my question is for especially for the 3 agents, or the 3 played agents, if you could work in this line of work in reality, what area would you most want to be like? Would you want to be field agents? Would you want to be doing code breaking, undercover, research? What area would you
That
like
question.
to
Can I go first?
Go.
Undercover, baby. Now, here's the truth. At one of our rap parties, I don't remember which year, but it was somewhere in the middle, I think, we had 2 bona fide CIA agents come to the rap party. Bruce and I were having
Yes.
a cocktail, eating our little mini sandwiches, and they came up to us with business cards in suits.
Yes.
Real agents. I was
Yeah.
so excited. I thought, this is my moment. I've been waiting all my life. I can be a honeypot. I speak languages. I could go seduce people in other countries and get secrets. Pilgrim's Progress, forget about that. So I thought this was a really good opportunity. And the guys came and talked to us. They were not interested in me at all. They liked Stetson. Now, we won't go any further with that story because it's top secret. But that really happened, right, Bruce?
You know, you're absolutely right. I was.
He's admitting it publicly.
No, it's true. You're absolutely right. I had also a CIA agent try to recruit me when I was doing that Estee Lauder campaign.
Yes! You all heard of that! This is the first time you heard
Whenever I had to go on the weekends and I would have to go to someplace.
Try to recruit
And I
him.
think I was in Chicago on State Street. They had the line of fans out the door and I was supposed to stand there and hand out
Sure, that
products.
was good.
And I smelled good too.
So, because the one thing about Bruce is that he blends in,
Yeah.
which is really what you want for a secret agent.
It's true.
6'4", drop dead gorgeous.
You went on the road, didn't you? On the road, probably to China, Russia, places, Iraq, where they like Estee
This
Lauder.
woman walked up to me though, seriously. She whispered in my ear and I said, "What are you kidding me? Get out of here." She says, "No, this is my card. You're in the field office here and blah, 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 blah. We'd more than be happy to want to talk to you." And I said, "You're shitting me." I think something like that, and I totally dismissed it. She disappeared in the crowd, Kate. I mean, yeah, she was
In my
there, and then
version,
she wasn't
he
there.
didn't say, in my version, he said, yes, I'd love to. And then he proceeded to go on the road to all these exotic locales representing perfume. Wink, wink. That's my version.
I heard Kirk Douglas, does anybody remember who that movie star was? He said at one time he thought actors would have made, popular stars would have made the perfect undercover agents because they were invited in the halls of everywhere.
Exactly.
They got to walk into any room they ever wanted to, talk to anybody they ever wanted
Go
to,
to customs.
and go through customs. They could have done anything. I think Kirk would have done that. The Reagans.
They really did.
Yes, they did
They
that.
were fans. They liked this.
The Reagans did.
Yes,
Nancy
they
Reagan.
did. Yeah, I got a laugh.
Nancy wouldn't boil an egg without.
What did Martha say?
Nothing, Martha said nothing. I'm just sitting here.
No, remember you said Nancy was, Francine said that in something.
Francine.
You said Nancy knows all those.
Nancy wouldn't boil an egg without it.
Oh, that's it. Was that Pilgrim's Peach Puff? What was it? Remember that crazy episode in the helicopter? You and I are supposed to be flying in the helicopter as a ball. Yes, yes. It had all that zany stuff that was just so.
All right, I think I got the last line. We'll see how it goes.
We've run out of time.
Yeah.
If you all want to listen to some other boring bunch of people, I guess we'll let you.
Okay, I have a question, and then we'll see if we wrap it up. So, I love that you said, Kate, that you had to adjust from the characterization of doing everything, knowing everything as Sabrina to Amanda, because my 9-year-old self struggled with that adjustment too. It was really hard to watch the show because they were laughing at you and you weren't being taken seriously, and you can see the arc and the evolution of Amanda, and in the end she has the last laugh. But I always wish that you were actually playing Francine's character because
Wait a minute now.
because she was taken as an equal, where Amanda had to grow into that, right? But that idea, was that a conscious writing decision to play Francine really as any other agent? She was equal to there, and that's to me what I saw, Kate Jackson, who could do anything, who was all powerful, Amanda had to get there.
That hurt Ruby because I think we also went through a lot of producers, right? So they had to kind of keep up. They were a little behind us, actually. We had to keep them up on what was evolving with the characters. And for a while there, they didn't know quite what to do. I mean, you might remember if you watched the show, like somewhere around the middle, they were sort of like, what is this relationship, And is this Francine just going to be the bitch? Or are they going to grow? And so they stuck us in a freezer, what you do with people, right? When you want them to get to know each other. Stick them in a freezer, right? So, no, and then Francine came to appreciate that, okay, she was making missions accomplished. And there was still always going to be a level of professionalism that I think Francine had to hold on to because that was part of her identity. You know what I mean? She had a striving personality, and she was very proud of her professionalism, as all that training, too. All that training, years and years of training. But then there was a respect that grew for the Amanda character. I think that's mine.
Well, let's thank our panel. Thank you for your time.
If you guys have a second, I think there's something important that's missed about the character here, is that with Katie able to take an innocent and make them a refined professional, one of the things that you have to understand, being a brilliant actor, Bruce being the cowboy, Katie being that curious intelligence, that evolution allowed people in this audience to become her for a moment. That housewife, the whole point was the storytelling, not just the ego. Kate was able to take the storytelling and make it personal, where you could relate to it, and that's why you're sitting here 40 years later talking about this show, because she was able to transcend the storytelling to the point that everybody could see them if they had that chance. Would they react the same way?
Yep.
And Francine being the parrying, the other part of the character, like what would I do if I had to face a Francine, or I had this handsome gentleman named Lee Stetson being opposite, and it allowed women at the time to really dream what if. And there are people that have gone into the industry, and I'm talking about the spy business, based on what they observed from the storytelling. And us boys, believe it or not, some of us and some of our families were actually in the business for real. And so it's an evolution of storytelling that only Katie could have pulled off with Bruce and Martha and Beverly and Mel. And like I said, it was a privilege to be a part of it. Thank you.